Hello and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. As you're joining us, and if you are joining us for the first time, please go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. How can you do that? Let us show you how. Subscribe to Citizen AY by hitting the button, hit the notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up and help us grow the platform. We are truly grateful for your support. Please subscribe to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Now, today's broadcast is going to be about the realization is dawning on Europe that Africa is arising and waking up, and we're no longer interested in being treated as slaves in our land or being oppressed and our resources being exploited whilst they pay us peanuts for our resources, whilst they now sell finished goods to us at expensive prices using our resources that they've deliberately depressed the price of. Give you an example of what I mean. As I speak to you now, the naira is only worth 0.0013 of the dollar, which means that it is not even up to 1 cent. It requires another 0.0087 before it becomes 1 cent. Likewise, the CFA is in the same situation. The CFA that the French have imposed on Africans, that they don't use themselves, they don't use it, they use the euro. The CFA only values the euro only values, the French values the CFA at 0.0015. You see it on there. So that means that the CFA is only it requires another 0.0085 of another 0.0085 CFAs before it brings up to 1 cent of the euro. This is injustice, unjust oppression, suppression, and deliberately underdevelopment of Africa. And we need to wake up. And I'm glad that Africans are rising. They are afraid of that, and they are trying to make excuses and find another way to keep us oppressed. We mustn't let that happen. Now let's listen to Prime Minister Meloni of Italy. She's admitting to the fact that they've been carrying out exploitation. We need to put a stop to it as Africans. We need one African nation, one African security, one African currency, one African foreign policy, and we need freedom of movement for all Africans across Africa to the exclusion of others. That's what we need. Now let's go ahead and listen to her. Just give me 1 second. Let's roll the tape.
First of all, Africa is not a poor continent. It's not. It is a continent that has many, many resources. Moreover, rare earth, metals, raw materials.
So they know all this.
50% of arable lands. Mm-hmm. We're not taking care of that. And Africa today...
You're not allowing Africa to take care of itself. That's the problem.
External spoilers that work
including Europe,
against its stability.
Including Europe.
It is something that can be used against us.
And with regard to Africa, the issue of China comes up. Yeah. And I want to ask you about that. Is China dominating or trying to dominate the continent and scooping up some of those raw materials and metals that you mentioned that are so critical to technology?
Absolutely. China has an important presence at the time in Africa. And well, I think it's normal that everyone tries to defend its national interests. The problem is if we are able to do that. I mean, what I don't really agree with is the approach that sometimes the West world.
What about African national interest? It doesn't matter.
The idea I have is that we are always ready to give advices, but not so ready to give a hand. They don't trust us a lot.
Why should
and I
we?
cannot say that they are completely wrong. That's why my opinion is that we have to change this approach. What I want to do is to bring investments in Africa. Bring investments not only to say we want to help. No, that's not geopolitics. If you want to do serious things, you have to do things that are useful for both. For example, now we have a problem in Europe about energy sources after the war. But Africa is potentially an enormous producer of energy, of every kind of energy, green energy, hydrogen, geothermic, they've got gas, they've got everything. So if we help them taking out and producing this energy, and we tie them with Europe, we will solve many problems together.
See,
So, what she was saying there is that they want to partner with us. They want to partner with us. But how can you be a partner with somebody who is doing this to your currency? How can you be a partner to somebody who is doing this to your currency to keep your resources dirt cheap so they can exploit you and keep you impoverished? They can't be partners. They can't. They can't be. I'm showing you the real situation. Look at that. West African CFA. If our currencies, they have fixed the currency rates for our for Africa. I mean, CFA. Who gives France the right to print currencies for African countries? The only reason they're doing that is to be able to exploit our resources, take it at dirt cheap prices. And I salute Guinea, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali for breaking away from that injustice. We need the whole of Africa to break away from the European construct that have put Africa in enslavement till today. So we must support Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Guinea. Gabon it's a fake intellectual alignment. It's not. France are controlling them, and we need to wake up. So I wanted you to just really look at the currencies that I'm showing you now. You know, if they want us to be equal partners, then our currencies we have to make the rate of what we charge. What Niger is doing, for example, now Niger is now charging world prices for uranium under the clutching and the thieving hands of France that imposed CFA on Niger. France was forcing Niger to sell uranium per kilo at 80 cents per kilo. Now that Niger is broken free from France, they are selling the uranium at 200 euros per kilo at world market prices. That is what independence means. That is what we must do. We need all of Africa to do exactly what Niger is doing, and make sure that we support ourselves. We will need to protect ourselves collectively and make sure that our continent pushes out all these colonials. You see, they're trying to find ways to come in, and they're not willing to deal with the fundamental lies. They created systems that is designed to impoverish Africa, and they want us to accept that. We can no longer accept that anymore. So all of this talk that she's saying here, all these warm words, whatever, they know that they want to partner. Listen to it one more time.
Not only to say we want to help. No, that's not geopolitics.
We don't need help. You need to first admit what you are doing with the currencies. You see, how can our currency be worth only 0.0013 of yours? That's looting. That's daylight robbery. That's daylight fraud right there. That is daylight fraud. We mustn't accept it any longer. Again, same thing with CFA. Look at that. The same thing with CFA, designed to ensure that we are impoverished. Let me type one more thing. $1, 1 naira to pounds. Yeah, 1 naira to pounds, to show you that in all the currencies, they've all designed it to do the same thing. To pounds, yeah? To pounds, yeah? You see that? See that? 938 naira. So 938 naira for 1 pound. They're making our currency worthless. That's what you're seeing. You see? That's what they're doing. So let's do the other way. Let me flip it to you. So you get it 1 naira to let me just get it this way. 1 naira to 1 pound. So let us see. You see? So 1 naira to 1 pound is showing you that it's only point. In fact, it is worse, 0.0011. So you require another 0.89 of another 0.89 of the dollar of the pound to add to the 0.11 to make it 1p, to reach the 1p. So we have to be very, very clear. These currencies are showing, this is that's their system, the financial system. When they say they want to bring investment in, they're lying to you, because it's a way to try and hide the fact that they are taking our resources at dead cheap prices, and we can no longer allow this to carry on. So that's why we support Niger. Niger is absolutely right. 1 second, let me get you the figures for Niger now. 1 second. So just to read to you, as reported from the spectacle, as reported in the spectacle. Now listen, a prominent as reported in a spectacle, Niger, a prominent player in the global uranium market, has opted to raise the price of uranium from 80 euros, US 85 per kilogram, to 200 euros at US, and US $213 per kilogram. So that is what they are afraid of. They don't want us to have the power to determine our own currencies. And that is why she's saying, oh, yes, we will work with them. We will partner. We're not interested in working with them. We're not interested. We will determine things ourselves. They want to keep us impoverished in Africa. And I'm here to make us understand. Let us understand that we should not accept impoverishment. They are the ones who need to be, they need us. And they are trying to do everything to try and keep us impoverished. So all I will say is, please do share this broadcast. Leave a comment. You can see now that, do you agree that Europe is running scared as Africans are waking up, and they're saying that Africa is putting a stop to the exploitation of our resources by colonials and others. And that is what they are afraid of. And we must continue, because our people need to enjoy a far better quality of life that our resources affords us. And those who are oppressing and suppressing us are stopping us. Our unity as one continent will give us that. Let us please share this broadcast and help us reach more people. You're watching Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. So we are exposing the hypocrisy of the policies of the West. And of course, increasingly, we need to, for us, Africa must be first in Africa. We need to put ourselves first. That is Africa is our national interest as collectively as Africans, and we need to protect that. Others, they make their own national interest first. It's time we put our national interest as Africans first in Africa. That's what we must do. What are your thoughts? Let's hear from you. You are watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Please do share, leave a comment. Let's hear from you. They admitted that, So they are afraid, They are afraid. The West are afraid that Africans are waking up in Africa and putting a stop to the constant exploitation of our people, of our resources, and so on and so forth. And that is what we need to continue to do in Africa. We need to wake up. We need one Africa. We need one. All of these currencies that they put that I showed you, they are all designed to keep us impoverished in our land. And we need to say no to it. It's only us that can put a stop to it. So Africans, it's time we unite. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. If this resonates with you, please share. Don't forget, subscribe to Citizen AY, hit the notification button, and of course, give us the thumbs up. We truly appreciate your support. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you, and bye for now.